Clint, I'm packing your loom into this box here. You won't need that. So, and there's the oil pressure switch wire. So when you connect it into the hydraulic fan wire is just in this front plug here, and it just allows it to run into the cabin. So as I'm putting it in the box, we'll just hopefully, if there's anything we've missed, you'll get it in this video. So here's this big blue wire. That's the one that runs into the engine bay. I'll mark that fan, and it goes onto the fan terminal on that fuse box. So there's the big, there's a insulated stud. The insulated stud might be a solution for the right hand front as well. Put the battery cable over into an insulated stud, and then use the insulated stud to connect some fuses onto. So there's that cable there, and I'm going to leave that in that alternator wiring. So there's the big blue wire that goes to the fuse. I'm sure you can sort that. I haven't completely taped. You can pull it out appropriately. So there's your alternator wiring. It's going in the box, and it's got the fuse attached, and it's got the lid on it. Then there's the cable that runs across front of the vehicle. So that's 25mm, way more than you really need, but better to be safe than sorry. And that connects into these wires over here. So that was where they should have had main fuses going in. That was only used for jumping. Those terminals are just in there because I was using them to jump. I'll put a cross on that one. So this plug here originally had the oil in it. A start wire, an ignition wire, and a random black wire that I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to put a big cross. So you don't need to connect that one. Here's an ignition one wire, and you don't need to connect that one. I've just put wires on them so they're not flopping around. When you fit up the engine loom, make sure you get these earths on the back of that engine. Are really, really important. The ECU just unplugs. And it unplugs here. Oil. Here's your oil wire and your water temp, check engine, and your tacho if you ever want to put a tacho in. And then it unplugs from the fuse box on these. The only wires you can really fuck up, there's a 6-pin on the engine loom, and there's a 6-pin on the four-wheel drive, and they may be close, but the black ones plug into the black ones and the white ones plug into the white ones. So I'm pretty sure you can get that right. You want to tape this or do something with that there. That'll allow it to be flexible, you see, so you can put it wherever you want it to go. We're good so far. So here's the fuse box. So it's got some wires coming from the dash loom, and you'll see here it's got ignition IG, and it's got ignition in there and 4x4. So what I've done is I've put the four-wheel drive wiring, I've run it off a fuse in here, off the ignition relay in here, so it reduces that load. Fuel pump wiring, hopefully that's nice and long for you. So that one's done. Four-wheel drive wiring. As you can see, I've got it on the box, so we know it works. Just watch that top terminal there. It's a little bit ugly, but and if you've got two switches on your gearbox, you'll only need the one, and that's the one that bypasses. So it's when you move the lever to put it into low, and it activates the four-wheel drive computer. It unplugs, and the switch for the four-wheel drive is on the body loom. I was on the dash loom. It's my switch. So we'll leave that plugged in, and don't forget the earth on the 4x4. So on the body loom, there are two earths, left hand side and under the dashboard. As I said, that terminal into that check engine light, which is the centre one here, isn't perfect, but it does the job quite nicely. Fuse box has got the fuse box lid. If you want to work out what the fuses are, that's why I've left the original fuse box in there, so you can match colours. There's enough there. There's a small white one here, which I think, single pin, which I think was for the radio. It's got a power supply off one of the fuses in the fuse box. And hopefully I've got the ignition switch round the right way. I've actually, by the fuse box, I put this little 3-pin that allows me to jump from one circuit to another. So if something's not quite right, I can make some changes with there, or you can make some changes because it's easy to swap. There we go, back in its box. Pretty sure I got everything. We're good to go. Catch you later, mate.